Jacki is the author of the audio program 11 Steps to Powerful Public Speaking, has served on the board of directors for the National Speakers Association and the Massachusetts American Society for Training and Development. Get ready to have some fun while improving your public speaking, and please help me welcome Jacki Rose.
Thank you, Judy. And I want to thank Judy for what a wonderful job for introducing me and reading that wonderful piece of paper that I emailed her so she could review ahead of time. Thank you very much. Give Judy a round of applause. How many of you love public speaking? Okay, I saw that hand first. Could you just stand up and introduce yourself again and tell us why?
Judy does as well.
Well, not only do I love public speaking, but I love teaching other people how to be great presenters. So tonight, my goal is for those of you who love public speaking, or don't mind it and do it a lot, my goal for you is that after tonight, you will take your speaking skills to the next level. And my goal for all of you who don't like public speaking very much, maybe hate it, don't think they're very good at it, my goal for you is that after tonight, you will look for more opportunities to speak and to speak about your business. I'm going to give you some really great tips on how to become a great presenter. And then what I'm going to do is get a few of you up here to speak in front of everyone and coach you on the spot. Because that's the way you learn, by observing and by doing it. And we're going to have some fun. I see a little fear in some of the eyes. Don't worry, you don't have to come up if you don't want to. So let's start with the first one. Somebody help me out. What's the first step?
Dynamic.
Dynamic, okay. So actually there's three, I've broken it down into how to be dynamic, how to be confident, how to be engaging. So what's the first step to be dynamic?
Grab their attention.
Grab their attention. Have an opening that grabs their attention. Imagine for a moment, you're outside. There's snow on the ground. It's cold. You have this warm, heavy coat on. But you're barefoot. And you have nothing on your head. That could get cold. Well, that's sort of what a presentation is like when you only present the middle. And you leave off the opening and the closing. And too many times I see people just present the middle. What happens if the other person isn't looking at you while you're talking to them?
You don't have their attention.
You don't have their attention. You don't think you have their attention. And when you're the presenter, you have to look in the eyes of your audience, and all of them. Now, sometimes we tend to favor one side of the audience, but if I was over here and favor them, I have great eye contact. Wow, wonderful eye contact for what's happening over there. Exactly. Exactly, we're falling asleep. You need to make eye contact with everybody. Now, it's really difficult when you've got this troublemaker sitting behind you. But every now and then, it's Mike, right? Every now and then, Mike sees me look at him, right? Every now and then. But he chose to sit over there. I don't have to look at him too often. And that's fine. But you always want to remember if there are people on the sides, you want to always try to get them at some point, because it will keep their attention. And also, when you look them in the eyes, what else would that mean? What you're saying is sincere and honest, and you're saying it with conviction. You really believe what you're talking about when you look someone in the eyes. And it's uncomfortable at first. I don't care if you're doing a 30-second commercial or a full-blown presentation, look people in the eyes when you're talking. How do you want to be perceived? What do you want to happen at the end of your presentation? Ka-ching, exactly. But what do? We usually say, oh, they're not going to like me, I'm going to make a fool out of myself, I'm going to bore them to death, they're not going to buy from me, I'm going to fail. That's what we do. So we set ourselves up for failure. But if you set yourself up for success, you're more likely to succeed. So visualize the way you want to be. I do it before every presentation. And not only do I visualize the way I want to be presenting. Now, if you're nervous, if you're not confident in what you're talking about, because in some areas, in some situations, we're more confident than others. And in some audiences, we're more confident than others. But it's nobody's business if we're nervous inside. How would you act if you had total confidence? You don't have to show the nervousness, which we're going to work on today.
Okay.
So what I want her to do is, what happens is we favor one side of the room. It's very common. Notice how she immediately wanted to go over there. I want you to come center stage. That's a great little marking right there. Why don't you go a little bit in eye contact? Maybe it was a bit too far. Come back a little bit. You don't want to blind. I'm not done. All right, she's going back. Center room.
So bad.
I was looking at everybody's eye.
So here's what's going to happen. She's going to take a breath. She's going to make eye contact. And then when she's ready, she's going to have an opening. She's going to pause. And then she's going to continue talking, go into your presentation. And then I'm going to give her at least one, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 things to improve upon. I'll just try to keep it 1 or 2. So when you're ready. Okay, stop. What I want you to do, I want you to have your feet equal distance apart, more like shoulder blades, because then we have a powerful presence. Your audience wants you to be confident, and the more confident we are in what we have to say, the more confidence they'll have in us. I want you to unfold your hands, okay? Hand on your knees. She's got great posture, so keep, okay, there you go. Glenn, welcome Glenn. Give a round of applause.
If money wasn't an issue for you, how many of you would take the opportunity to hire an architect to do an addition on your home?
We all have some type of a nervous habit. And what he's doing, Glenn is doing this thing. And it's okay for a little bit, but when it goes on and on and on, it can get a little distracting. And people now, we've got some heads nodding, now they're paying more attention to the hands than what you're saying. So watch that. I want you to continue on and just watch that nervous habit. See if you can do something else with your hands and just put them by your side.
Hundreds of people, the town of Ashland. What more exposure could you have for your business?
Okay,
You want
now
to improve your business, right?
This is really good, so I'm going to work with this right now. Great, it looks great, center stage, love it, good posture. There's a lot more, and there's passion there, but I want to hear more. So I always like to emphasize numbers, hundreds. What does hundreds look like? What would that be like? So what else did you say? You said hundreds, you said
The entire town of Ashland.
exposure.
Imagine all of
All
Foxborough
of
Stadium, all the people
Well,
there
well,
seeing
no.
your picture and your business.
There we go, emphasize your, emphasize all, emphasize hundreds. So emphasize those key words. Start with, take 2 from the top. It doesn't have to be exact.
Imagine you or your business being viewed by not hundreds, but thousands of different people. Imagine Foxborough Stadium and a Patriots game. Imagine how many people are in that stadium. But instead, people are in their home and they're watching you and learning more about your business every single time.
Now, there's a little movement going on, they're laughing because they noticed it, right? Now, you're never going to see another presenter the same again. What?
I said, I'm with you, Bob.
And, everyone has something, like I said. So there's a little movement going on. So I want you, it's center stage, it's great posture. Just take command of the room and watch the nervous vision. Try to. And what I want you to do is when you emphasize these words like hundreds, like Foxborough Stadium, I want to hear a pause afterwards. Because what happens is when we pause after we say something, people will listen and it will sink in. But if you say, oh, Foxborough Stadium, blah, 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 they're not going to hear Foxborough Stadium. So imagine hundreds, you know what I'm saying? So just emphasize Foxborough Stadium again. Say that sentence after Foxborough Stadium and then pause and let it sink in. Part of growing our business is speaking about our business. Your audience will only be as excited as you are. So go out, look for opportunities to speak about your business to audiences as large as Foxborough Stadiums. And speak like a pro, and your business will grow.